Merong meme na lumabas dyan eh. Parang, you have to say thank you to ChatGPT or the AI. Because when the robots take over, they will remember. They will remember. Who said, hello. Welcome to our first ever show. We are the Future-Proof Titos. I am Lance, and with me are my fellow hosts.
I'm Mick.
My name is Kevin. Or Kev.
Okay, so yeah, we wanna start right away with a very nice topic, I suppose. When during inumans, hangouts, it's a very much talked about topic. No, I experienced it myself.
But wait, before we do that, disclaimer muna. What will our audience expect in this usapan?
Okay, so first common denominator is we are all schoolmates, batchmates. We are all pretty much, ako patawid ng 40s, we are all in our 40s. We have our own experiences at work, but we do not claim to be experts.
Yes.
Although, I have to say we have a lot to contribute and a lot to share. Huh?
Yes.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay, so yeah.
Ay, sige.
So the topic that we wanted to talk about is something that we talk about all the time pagdating sa inuman, ganyan. And it's gonna be about AI, okay? So at first we were saying, baka masyadong contentious to. So let me begin, boys. For me, I wanted to ask you guys, what's the most exciting application that you've done with AR so far?
For me, it's more on assisting on certain jobs lang. No?
Yeah.
Not full on using it in terms of completing everything. No? But maybe to consult
Okay.
for a consultancy.
So parang siyang glorified Google, but much better or much improved
Yes.
Google. No?
Parang glorified Google, but it's a little better than Google.
Yeah.
Diba? If you think about it. It gives you more accurate responses. It gives you more detail. Like, the responses it gives you, it also provides you with the source of where that response came from. So, technically in that aspect, I think it's...
Survey. So there are several, the most popular is obviously ChatGPT. So I use ChatGPT.
I use ChatGPT.
Ikaw, si Kevin is our...
Oh,
Yeah.
well, halo-halo eh. So, if we're talking about, say for example, maybe general usage,
Yeah.
ChatGPT might be a good go-to. But personally, I've tried maybe 2 or 3 models.
Like what?
So I've tried ChatGPT, obviously, especially where I used to work with. ChatGPT based kami basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we also tried Claude prior to that. Nag-Claude din kami before. And then medyo nag-try din ako just casual siguro for a little while. Siguro Copilot. Tried using Copilot. But it was mainly for like a gaming scenario that I was using it for mainly gaming. Asking questions related to gaming.
Oh, okay. But what other, so Copilot, what paid service are you using now?
Well, back when I was working, the paid service that we used specifically was ChatGPT. So,
And Pro or
unfortunately, di ko alam yung cost. Kasi,
company?
kumbaga company issued siya. So, I don't really know the cost. But we were just using ChatGPT. We also set up like maybe for lack of a better term, make it easier for the general audience to understand, some sort of interface between ChatGPT.
Okay.
Okay,
So, you could say it's an aggregator
yeah,
of...
not exactly. It's more than a chatbot. Think of it as like a plugin.
I see.
Probably a good description would be a plugin. Kasi syempre I used to work in the IT industry, so
Yes.
software
Kevin is our resident IT guy. So
Although
kumaga,
disclaimer, hindi ako
hindi siya expert daw, but expert siya.
Hindi ako dev.
Yes. But see, parang kumbaga, amongst our friends, if you watch heist movies, siya yung hacker sa heist movies. So siya yung go-to guy namin.
I wouldn't exactly consider myself the hacker. Just
But I guess your our knowledge
I would
database,
probably
right?
be the most. Yeah, I mean, it would be probably safe to say I would probably be the internet junkie between the 3 of us.
Yeah.
But in terms of like career period, I'm kind of like, let me put it this way: I am not technically enough to be considered a developer.
Yeah.
But I am not technically deficient enough to be considered a newbie. So I'm
Okay.
kind of like riding the fine line between like a non-tech person and a tech person. That would probably be the best way
Right.
to describe it.
Ganito na lang. Kasi when I use ChatGPT, I use the paid version, which is the 1,000 a month. So I use that because I'm a businessman. When he showed me how he used AI, there's this dashboard with, I think, four interfaces of an AI where you were able to feed it the prompt, and then four bot AIs was able to respond, no? So far, like with your specific experience with your work in your industry, what is like the most you could say parang wow, ang galing nitong AI, how it was able to help me talaga or able to produce something that, I wouldn't be able to do on my own. Maybe it's time, maybe it's
Unfortunately, I wasn't able kasi at the time na I left by the time the managers fully embraced AI kumbaga.
correct.
Into our workflows.
Right.
The devs already at some point we were already asking them to kind of integrate it na sa
Correct.
ano nila, sa workflows nila. Which is why when I've talked to a lot of devs, it's been very helpful for them in setting up like at least the basic stuff. Like for example, like I'm sorry to go a little bit technical here, but like the Git structure ng GitHub nila, they can now do it through AI. Yung basic
Nosebleed.
So like I said, medyo not newbie enough. Kumbaga, I'm more technical than the average person, but I'm not technical enough to be considered like a developer. So,
Okay.
Kaya yun, sometimes magiging nosebleed talaga ako. At the same time, sometimes biglang if a dev watches this, medyo minsan papapa, ano pinagsasabi nito? Yun.
That's okay. We're used to,
Okay, ako naman. Okay, on my end, so I'm a businessman. You guys know that. No? So I'm a small, medium, I own a few franchises here and there. And then, sakto.
large?
No naman, walang large. Small lang. And then, so what I found to be very useful, obviously, when you're a businessman kasi, sobrang daming iba-ibang work. It's not a specific department. You're handling marketing, you're handling legal, you're handling operations. So, for the last year, grabe yung gamit ko for, like of course, even in our legal, no, parang before you have to ask your lawyers, okay, draft this. Sasabihin nila, i-draft mo na sa ChatGPT, then send it to me, then we'll modify. And that has happened so many times. Of course, I was impressed kasi, of course, don't do it, no? During the stoplight, I was driving, I was able to compose a contract. Kasi traffic I mean, di ba, that's a good way to take advantage of, And then, maybe another thing for me was, I was so impressed. I guess, I thought, kasi nakakatawa yung AI It could be so dumb, at the same time, it could be so smart. Diba? Parang
I can share.
Right? So, like, I saw a video parang specifically like it was asking what days in the week contains letter D. And then it only answered Tuesday and Friday. Pero lahat naman nasa letter D. So something as simple as that, hindi niya masagot. Maybe because it's...
Yeah, sometimes it's so inaccurate.
I mean, ako there have been instances where nag-hallucinate siya sa akin. Like I was practically using it because I was reviewing for certifications. So
Okay.
I was like, and there were certain instances where while I was taking a practice exam for a certain certification, parang ang nangyari is ano tatuad. I mean, all the ChatGPT has to do is to look up the internet
Right.
to come up with the answers.
Right.
And so I was taking a test exam and I was trying to figure out kasi the specific question I had was it was multiple choice. It had answered one question tapos 3 out of the 4 answers that. So pick 3 out of the 4. May 3 ditong tama.
Okay.
Basically.
Okay.
So this part specific question, parang naguluhan ako.
Okay.
Parang, ba't di ko makita to?
Yeah.
Parang it doesn't make sense. So ginawa ko, parang out of desperation, nag-chat GPT ako.
Right.
I specified the specific question. Ito yung mga choices.
Yeah.
Ano yung sagot?
Yeah.
Nagkamali din siya. And so, for a while na-confuse ako.
Right.
Kasi parang, well, to be fair, the test exam that I was using was probably a few years old already by that time.
Yeah.
Systems evolve.
Right. Correct.
So baka na-outdated na yung Pero yun nga, ultimately, buti na lang, I decided to double check.
Right.
So talagang tinignan ko ng masinsinan yung help documentation.
Correct.
And I eventually found out na, yun nga, mali nga si
Right.
ChatGPT.
Correct. Now, ako naman, I realized, and I don't know, maybe you guys are experiencing this. I thought parang, bobo naman itong ChatGPT. Kasi you cannot say, like, again, in my case, like, it's all about the prompts. That's what they're saying, right? Na-realize ko na, at first I was trying to make it do a financial forecast.
Yeah.
Because I used to do that when I was in corporate. So I would do like a lot of Excel sheets, a lot of worksheets yon. Tapos talagang sobrang daming tables and everything, no? I asked it a sobrang basic, can you come up with a financial forecast? Naturally, if you don't have anything to feed it, wala. So I suppose, after a while, I said, sabi ko, college work yung binoproduce ni ChatGPT. But then after a while, nung natututo, as I'm evolving as a user, na-realize ko na
It's evolving with you.
So I'm evolving on how I put the prompts. I'm getting smarter on how to use it.
Yeah.
Oh, so finally, I was able to actually come up with a nice forecast. Kasi sinabihan ko siya, parang, it's like a good assistant. No ba?
Yeah.
Sobrang instant niya, depending on your internet service, I guess. You write the prompt. So, kunyari, okay, write this, first worksheet, ganyan. And then the next one should be assumptions. The next one should be the mga ratios and everything. So yeah, it's able to produce maybe 80% and then you refine it. No?
I guess it's also dependent on what you feed it.
Yes, that's it.
Kasi even as an AI bot, diba, it needs information that's from you for it to be able to personalize the results that it gives you.
That's right. That's right.
So I think in that sense, you have to train it.
That's right. That's right. And yourself also on how to how you relate with it. Like what's very important, and Kevin was pointing this out to me when we were driving home last time. Sabi niya, kasi I was able to come up with an actual business plan. It's not like I cheated on it, no? Na nakagawa ko ng business plan from it. But then he said, sabi ko, bilib na bilib ako. Unang-una, kompleto yung sources, as you said a while ago. But then, sabi niya, you wouldn't be able to come up with an end product if you had not done it manually yourself eh.
Oh,
Di ba? Kasi I think that's the important part. Unfortunately, I guess, titos tayo. We have to tell the kids na parang you have to do the things manually first. You have to know. Kasi if you don't know, hindi automatic yan. And we've heard of the term, have you guys heard of the term AI slap?
Yeah.
Diba? Na parang
Definitely.
people will know it's AI. Kasi parang ano lang, iniwan mo lang siya without your
parang bahala ka.
bahala ka.
Tapos, it's also important that that you know what you're doing kasi although sige, AI, let's say AI produces a feasible output, kailangan mo pa rin i-double check.
Right.
I mean, a lot of lawsuits have been raised
Really?
because of people not verifying the facts.
Yeah.
I mean, recently, I think this was probably last year, for example, it's a pretty big accounting company. Unfortunately, I forgot the name escapes me. But it's a pretty big company.
Filipino company?
No. This was in Australia.
Okay.
So, Australia asked them to do some sort of audit. And then they did the audit using AI. And unfortunately, someone from their side, it looks like, did not verify the results.
Okay.
Buti na lang merong someone from the Australian government side that verified the reports. And ang daming nakitang hallucinations.
Okay.
Oh, and also, here's another good example. There were at least maybe a couple of cases sa US that one side lost. Kasi ang ginawa nila is yung statement nila generate through AI. And AI, ang ginawa ng AI, it hallucinated cases
Oh gosh.
to prove yung side nila. And for some reason, no one did not check.
Okay.
Kaya yun, natalo sila.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, with the use of AI, we also have to be aware that it's not the one-stop shop for everything, right?
Yeah.
Because I've also watched, I think on YouTube, some cases wherein I think Grok is the name of the AI. Is that
That's
the
Ito din kay X.
Yes, that's the X or the Twitter X.
I'm not sure,
Grok,
but
Grok.
yeah, the AI.
Well, kung AI siya ni Twitter, Grok yun.
Yeah. So the problem with the Grok AI bot though is that it gives delusional missions to people, no? So for example, this is Japanese doctor. This is a doctor, a professional, well-educated and everything, no? And I don't know what prompt he gave Grok, but Grok told him that he can cure cancer one day. Parang ganon na. So he set out on mission. He lost his wife, he lost his kids, I think. But I think Grok gave him this delusion that one day he'll make a big shift in the medical space because of this certain pill or whatnot.
So nag-hallucinate
That's
siya
scary.
So nag-hallucinate siya ng cure or ng...
No, he was working on a cure. And Grok
No.
was telling him how to do it.
Yun nga, exactly. Nag-hallucinate siya ng treatment.
Yeah.
So like I'm sure you guys notice this. I'm sure I also use AI sometimes to just double or second opinion. Kunyari, I go to a checkup with the doctor. I ask it to just get a second opinion.
Don't use it to consult with.
Yeah,
him,
but
bro.
second opinion. But sometimes, kunyari, like you're asking it to make you a workout program or whatever. It's trying to motivate you, diba? But sometimes it's too biased with you, na, diba? It's always trying to compliment you. That it's some.
Diba?
Yes.
At the beginning naman when you use it, it asks you how you wanted to respond.
Yes.
If you wanted to respond in a serious note, in a joking note, diba?
Maybe parang you can.
Parang may personality setting siya.
Maybe you can tell it. Maybe it's a good idea that came up in my mind right now na parang we should tell it not to give us BS. Parang, no, sorry, no BS. Parang, just tell me
parang
as it
hirap
is.
yata nun. Kasi,
I'm not sure if
yun nga, parang mahirap yata yun. Kasi AI learns from what it sees. And
yeah.
That's what we have to be
yeah,
careful
and
of.
it cannot, I mean, personally, I think it cannot tell what's BS and what's not.
Okay, yeah.
Like, well, maybe it can to a certain extent, but not 100% reliability.
Okay, so we started, boys, you notice, obviously we started, it's clear and apparent when you shared your own personal use of AI, it's already part of our lives. I mean, it's only
Somewhat, yeah.
it's 2026. I think 2024, we were just dabbling with it.
Yeah.
Parang we were jumping from Google to ChatGPT to Google. But now it's really part of our lives. Now, since naturally, napansin ninyo, our conversation flowed into the negative things. So, if I were to ask you guys, personally, no, it doesn't have to be like a world thing or whatever, no? And you can also share your opinions about it. What's the most that you fear about AI? I mean, Mick, you're a dad. I'm a dad. Kevin, single and ready to mingle. So yeah, may mga do you have? Ako funny kasi as we watch AI, you could see like you could watch content and then like maybe parang maybe especially now robotics and AI are like side by side improving, right? And then like you could see a lot of countries coming out with robotics with AI tapos weaponized. And then you can see in the comment section parang we watched this in Terminator already. Why are we progressing? Parang it's like, and then generally you see the sentiment of everybody feeling something na parang wait, are we doing the right thing, or is somebody even monitoring the progress that we're doing? That is it really true progress? Do you guys have any fear, like immediate fear when it comes to AI?
Personally, I think they really have to stop shoving AI down our throats. With products like, for example, as simple as an air conditioner, you don't need AI with an air conditioner. I mean, what does it do?
Right.
Right? But yeah, I guess the only negative thing that I can say about AI is that the people behind it are just forcing us to use it. Mainly on everyday items such as air conditioners, pati ata electric fan yan, may AI na.
Yeah.
but yeah, yun lang. I think that's the only downside that I see with it. And plus, the grok thing, no? The
Parang you're being
you're giving
a false
mission,
a false mission
to someone. It affects the I think it gives a negative effect to the community na in that sense.
Because obviously we know that it's a business, right?
Yeah.
A common denominator for all of us also is we're all gamers. And we hate it. All of the PC and gaming components are going super high. How high is like a memory card for a PC is 3 times, 4 times? How high is it?
At least minimum 2 times.
At least minimum 2 times. If you're not able to look for it, talagang.
Because I remember that RAM that I bought I think I bought it for around 6,000.
Oh, parang 6420. I remember.
Yeah, parang
specifically.
6,000 plus, diba? And then when I looked at the prices again, and that's the same store, 20 plus. 22,000 or something.
Kahit kahit yung mga storage. Dude, dati nakakabili ako ng 2 terabyte, less than 10,000.
Yeah. Oo, ngayon naman.
Pumapalo na ng 22,000 yung 2 terabyte na NVMe.
Yeah. Chumamba lang ako when we built, right?
Swerte mo talaga 2 weeks din.
Right before nagtaas.
Nasa below 10,000. Hindi ka lalagpas ng 10,000 before.
Yeah.
So like Kevin, you know a little bit more about this, diba? So kunyari, so the problem with that is it's obvious as end users, we're just normal people, lay people. We're not part of those big corporations, those graphics card corporations who are into it. It's the next big thing. Diba? Parang they've likened the coming of AI as like the new gold rush of the US. Diba?
Which is true, yeah.
Diba? But with its fault, kasi the problem with the gold rush is everybody wanted to get in. Not all became rich naman with gold, right? So, can you tell us about, Kev, diba yung like a simple, di ba sabi nila, when you use ChatGPT, don't say thank you kasi it takes so much processing power for the ChatGPT, for the AI bot to reply welcome. Di ba? Yeah, that's
Easy thing is.
exactly.
Yeah, I remember an article.
Yeah.
I forgot once again, but I just remember because this was like maybe 1 or 2 years ago na parang the topic of the article was, should you say thank you to ChatGPT? Tapos tinanong nila si Sam Altman. Tapos sabi ni Sam Altman na yes, malakas sa resources yung pag-thank you sa ChatGPT. Pero, parang as a courtesy, mag-thank you ka na lang. Parang ganun.
Ako sasabihin ko, merong meme na lumabas dyan parang you have to say thank you to ChatGPT or the AI. Because when the robots take over, they will remember. They will remember who said thank you to So this guy said thank you. He was polite. Let's not kill this guy. Pero Kev, di ba, as to that, di ba, the problem now is that the resources are all channeled. So us end users are being affected because a component that's supposed to be for the end user, like a normal working laptop or a gaming laptop, right, or a leisure use laptop, it's already being channeled to AI. So, 'di ba may mga, I think a lot of people who are, maybe environmentally concerned, what the resources that we're using for AI now, 'di ba? What is that? 'Di ba it's consuming power, it's consuming I don't know. So,
maraming 'yun. I mean, well, first off, it's not exactly reallocating like GPUs to AI data centers, but it's more like parang ba't ako gagawa ng GPU or ng consumer level RAM when I can repurpose my manufacturing to work to manufacture memory
right.
for those AI data centers because those companies are willing to pay more
Right.
for the memory that I'm producing.
Okay.
Yun ang ginawa ni there was a RAM company. Maalala ko to after ng podcast natin.
G-Skill?
Pero no, not si G-Skill.
So those are the main players. G-Skill, Corsair.
No, not Corsair.
Team Group.
Might have been Team Group.
But anyway, so what's
yeah,
the...
but basically, ginawa nila, they talagang essentially, they phased out their consumer RAM. This was last year. They could phase out their consumer RAM.
I know what you're talking about now. Seagate.
No, not Seagate.
But anyway, what do you mean?
Pero basically, there were one or two major memory manufacturers who decided, mas kikita tayo sa AI,
Yeah.
so we will shut down our consumer memory and then focus
Crucial.
Yes.
Yeah.
Crucial.
Crucial.
Exactly.
So that's sad for us. Di ba?
Yeah, so which means less supply for consumer
Right.
consumer grade na memory. Syempre, patas yung presyo kasi supply and demand.
Correct.
So, yun.
Yun nga. So again, I guess kanina positive, negative, we're gauging, is it really good for us or is it really bad for us? I could say parang I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful kasi it's really helping us.
Yeah.
But then, of course, I don't even want to talk about the possible jobs that might get lost. I've heard of some experts themselves who said, yeah, you really have to retool. You really have to retool. And especially, ako again, I have kids. How do you prepare? And even just an advice, how do you prepare? Like, how do you retool now, personally? We're reaching our midlife. We have to adjust because of AI, di ba? So for you, how do you retool? Kasi that will also translate to how the younger generation will actually have to adjust with this. Hindi natin mapipigilan eh. You said it was being shoved down our throats, but that's what the big boys are doing eh. We cannot stop that, diba? We're just really...
Yeah, which is, as much as I sort of medyo hot take to eh. Especially as a person...
Hot take.
Especially as a person who worked in the IT industry that was also, kasi syempre, that was also trying to push AI into like the development. Kasi yun yung directive eh.
Yeah.
Kailangan natin mag-adapt ng AI sa development process.
Right.
To a certain extent, I kind of wish that let me put it this way. I kind of sympathize with the people who hopes that the AI bubble pops.
Para magkaka-correction.
Oo, para...
How does that work?
I sympathize with that also.
Yun nga. That said, personally, also from what I've observed and what I've seen, I don't think that's happening anytime soon. With the way AI companies are aggressively investing in AI, to the point na willing sila mag-lay off ng tao so that they can free up
Ako naman,
capital for it.
Ako naman the bubble, since para siyang on a economics business side. For me, personally, I think it will happen a little sooner. Why? Because, so let's say for example, a company invests $1 billion to their AI department. So maybe let's say 5 years ago, when they invested with their $1 billion, sobrang laki nung na-develop nila. Now, they're putting in $10 billion. And then I think, honestly, I see ChatGPT has so much updates, di ba? Version something, I don't know, 5.1 or something.
Nasa 5.5 na yata.
Something like that, di ba? So, syempre you're expecting that the upgrades are like, ooh, life-changing, no? But honestly, it's a very small tweak. So that's the problem. So parang on the economics perspective, on the money perspective, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you spend a certain amount and then you get, oh wow, you're able to develop the AI system. But now, parang every time they put in money, so much resources are put into it. Tapos sobrang minimal na lang yung nagagawa. I don't know if I'm correct. I'm a layman. That's my perspective.
Let me put it this way. So the bad news, at least from my observations, is that I don't think the AI bubble is going to be popping anytime soon.
Okay.
With the amount of investment being thrown at it, despite the fact that they're losing, this is public knowledge na a lot of AI companies are losing money. But they're very optimistic about AI, so they continue to invest in it. So I don't think it's going to be popping anytime soon, I think. Despite how much a lot of us kind of hope it will happen so that, we go back to lower computer prices, for example.
Right.
And then even admittedly, even certain jobs. There were some businesses, diba? For example, I remember you talking to me about certain businesses that had to lower their prices kasi may kakompetensya na sila sa AI Lalo na sa digital media.
Yes.
The area of digital media.
Yes, like the creative work, diba?
Works,
Yeah.
a lot of
the processing
a
work.
lot of mom and pop stores had to lower their prices because of So that said, I also don't buy yung mga speculations ng mga AI CEOs na it's going to totally wipe out the job market.
Yeah.
At least from what I've seen so far, and at least in the near future. They've been saying that since last year na by 2026, basically the developer role will go the way of the dinosaur.
Yeah.
Essentially is kind of like their message.
Yeah.
And until now, developers are still around.
Yeah.
In fact, because of rising costs of AI, some companies are opting to bring back in human developers.
Okay. That's a good sign.
Because of because tumataas yung cost ng AI. Tumataas yung the cost to run AI.
Yeah.
And also, parang reality check din sa mga certain companies that they think, they were overly optimistic with AI, so they basically counted their eggs before they hatched.
Right.
And, started revolving their business decisions around AI before they could even get a proper grasp of how AI actually works and how much then the true cost. They could probably have an idea as to how it works, but the true cost,
Yeah.
yun ang
The true cost for me, speaking of the true cost, you mentioned that. I remember now, masakit kasi it's really literally close to home, not close to home, no? It hits our heart kasi the heroes of our economy is our OFWs and then our call center agents. I think because of the pandemic, diba? So work from home. What I know, I don't know if the exact, if for the longest time, the last 20 years, our economy was really driven by OFW remittances and the income we get from call center agents.
Yeah.
What I hear from now is that there are a lot of vacant office spaces, first brought about because of the work from home setup that was brought about by the pandemic. But I'm also kind of hearing, and I don't know if it's really true already, that, and you've kind of heard it, although it really sucks na you're hearing a lot of AI generated customer service.
Yes.
It's not the best. I hate it. Kasi when you want, 'di ba? Don't
It's so hard.
Dude, kahit yung mga pro AI na kilala ko. If the moment they are faced with a chatbot, the first thing they think of is, ano ba yung pwede kong gawin para
makausap yung tao. Ikaw, what's your experience with that?
Same thing.
Diba?
Kasi pero the best gatekeepers,
Yeah.
Ironic na, yung marami sa mga kilala kong, they find AI to be a very useful tool, and rightfully so.
Right.
Pero the problem is that it's being used in situations where maybe it might be better for the relationship between the service provider and the customer that
Right.
a human should be involved here.
Right.
Yeah.
And a good example of that is the front-facing aspect.
Right.
Lalo na yung mga first responders.
Yeah.
Parang, and I've yet to hear someone say, I like the chatbot.
Right.
I like the chatbot of
A certain private company.
There are some also, diba? They have, the perfect girlfriend. Kasi AI, diba?
Yun pa yun. Yun pa yung mga negative thing.
Diba?
Yeah, speaking of that.
Dude, yung ganon, yung parasocial, parasocial relation. I don't know if that's the right term, if I'm using the right term for that. But that, yung ganong relationship between a person
And the
a computer, that's actually been going on for a long
Yeah.
time.
It's
I remember
Sims ka na ba?
Yeah. No. Sims,
Microsoft Clippy.
dude, since the 2010,
Paperclip na sumasayaw sa
2010s, there used to be this phenomenon before sa Japan na tapos yung consoles mo pa nun, PS2, PS3, Nintendo DS.
Really?
Oh, there was this dating game na lumabas sa Japan. Nintendo DS, dating game.
But isn't it supposed to be
Ay,
kid-friendly?
wait, hindi siya yung iniisip mong dating game na may may scenes
Walang ASL dyan, no?
Oh, wala siyang
Oh, okay.
wala siyang
Ano tayo? Rated
siyang,
PG.
wala siyang non-PG scene sa dulo.
Okay. Anyway, okay.
So yun, may lumabas na dating game na I forgot the name of the title once again. For some reason, these names have been escaped. Although then again, to be fair, ito 10 years ago to. Na lumabas sa DS. And then there was this phenomenon na some of the players, kasi you can pick from 3 girls eh. So some of the players would pick a girl, and then they would literally hold marriage ceremonies between them and their Nintendo DS.
Yeah, I don't know if meron na bang ganun na kinasal with AI? Wala pa naman siguro, no?
I'm not.
Yeah, so no, but kasi
Meron yun. I haven't read any, but I'm sure somewhere in like the deep bowels of the
Baka meron, may print.
pero let's admit, 'di ba, na parang it is sort of okay, matigas ulo ng iba. Like sometimes again, this is not a medical advice whatsoever. Please do not consult your doctors, no? Pero hindi natin mapigilan. 2 a.m., your kid is sick. Yun ang instant before was to call your physician. Ngayon you check what's the symptom. It kind of gives you kasi information that hopefully it helps, 'di ba? Pero kung ganun simple application, paano pa yung mga ganyan na I've heard, di ba, there's a bit of on the psychological side na parang it's becoming the shrink. What's supposed to be a work of a psychologist o psychiatrist, binaano na lang nila. And
that's actually a problem kasi there have been reports na AI, ChatGPT, well, at least narinig ko sa ChatGPT, that have been telling their
to do something, let's not say that, something bad, something harmful na lang.
To do something that's very harmful with no cure.
It's gone there.
Yes.
So I guess we can I can wrap it up a bit on the whole AI thing. Just like any technology, a technology is a neutral thing. It's supposed to be a neutral thing. Like when we all had our iPads, our laptops, when we were students, diba? Yeah, it's definitely gonna help us because before, what would we do pa? We have to go to the library or the computer shop, typewriter, print, diba? Now you can do it in your laptop, in your personal computer. Everything becomes faster. And then you can use, before meron tayong encyclopedias, before the Googles, there were the encyclopedias. Britannica, yung mga roll years. Di ba? So ngayon, we're able to use Google and we can use these things. But at the same time, it can also be a form of distraction. Cell phones. There was a skit, I think it was in a certain talk show in the US about it was a 30-year or 25-year anniversary ng Back to the Future. So the doc, what's the name of the doctor there? Si Doc, basta Doc Brown.
Doc Brown.
Doc, basta si Doc, sabi ni Doc.
Doc Brown.
Oh yeah, you have the computing power in your pocket. Have you cured cancer? No. Have you explored all the planets? No. What are you doing? We make dancing videos on TikTok. I mean, di ba? It's a bit of a regression.
At least hindi dancing congressman.
Okay, anyway. No colors here. We welcome everybody. No, but see, that's the point kasi it's a neutral thing. At this point, I think, I hope. I have fears about it, but I'm also hopeful. It's a neutral tool. Diba? It's a superpower system that we can use for the good or for the bad. Diba? So, I am, to touch lang a little bit on that, kasi I'm in touch with some people who are in the academe. So actually, contrary to what people think that the kids should study more IT stuff or maybe technology stuff, actually the move now, and hopefully all the rest of the education system follow, that we have to go back to basics. So
I agree.
diba? So like kunyari, before we hated this, boys. Did you like memorization before diba?
No.
But apparently, I think there was I don't know if there was this academe or basta there was a research that syempre for kids, it's important for them to actually store knowledge and memorize. Because if they don't store knowledge and memorize, how can they process and actually have criteria on how to go about it? And that's why the education system now, supposedly, is supposed to help them, okay lang, memorization, manual. Writing down things again rather than everything kasi became online because of the, diba, yung may mga terms sila doon, yung asynchronous classes, right?
Ako, personally, I need to write things down for it to enter my head.
Right,
I
exactly.
mean, it's different also. Like, for example, kunyari, may iPad ka, no?
Hindi talaga eh.
Iba pa rin yung
Yeah.
pen and paper.
And even my to-do list is like a small paper. Alam mo yung pang CAT? Diba? Yung tickler, hand tickler. Diba? Parang it's still different versus there's so many task, productivity tools, but sometimes you just have to go through it manually. And then I think what's important with the kids is that with the students is what they're saying is yun, they have to be able to have criteria. We're lucky. Mga titos, we're lucky because we went through it manually. We are able to identify AI slap. Where parang nating
Although to be fair, kasi yung cousin ko, tutor siya.
yeah.
And she has so syempre tinuturuan niya yung mga yung younger, well, the students now are younger Gen Z to Gen Alpha.
Yeah.
And to be fair naman, at least I can only speak for Filipino students.
Right.
A lot of them can identify AI slap.
Okay, so just to give an example, my sister worked in a culinary school in the US, and then the rice cooker broke down. So the American students didn't know what to do. So naglabas sila ng kaldero ba yun? Tapos yun, di ba tayo mga Pinoy, di ba, daliri lang, saw-saw, no? And they were very impressed that they were able to come up with a manually yung sobrang sarap na rice, di ba? So same thing with and then from them, that's a life skill for them na they know how to cook rice manually. Now, automatic na pag pinindot mo, take advantage of the existing nice rice cooker, which is in our case, the rice cooker is AI. Di ba? Parang ganun. So, okay. So yeah, I think we talked a lot about AI. We are a new channel. So please don't forget to like and subscribe. And then also, we do not claim to be experts. So please comment your
It's just purely our opinion.
Yes, our opinion.
Also, basically parang usapang lang.
Kwentong-
Na we're hoping that will hopefully provide some insights that you guys might
Yes.
want to ponder on or consider. But yun nga, it's not really like a expert discussion.
Opinion. Kwentuhang Tito lang. Kwentuhang Tito lang.
But tell us what you think in the
Yes, in the
comments.
comment section, please. Like, if you have any recommendations on what AI you're using, share with us what you're using or what you're disappointed with.
Or yung mga kwento nyo rin.
Yeah,
Feel free
please,
to also share some stories.
Also, maybe if you have ideas of what you want us to talk about, or maybe like a guest, hopefully in the future, please write it down in the comments. Okay, so let's keep it light, boys.
Yep.
So now as Titos, we're all Titos here, we're all gamers also.
Of course.
Kasi this group is not exactly the one main barkada nung high school tayo, di ba?
Yes.
But what brought us together, sobrang random. As in, Mick is my extended barkada, Kev extended barkada also. Pero hiwalay-hiwalay, may mga core barkada tayo. But what brought us together, especially in the pandemic, which I think we can talk about that in the next
Yes.
episodes, no? Is because of the pandemic, we all became gamers again, no? So, can you tell us about how do you use your free time now as professionals, as businessmen? How is gaming like? What are your hobbies now since AI was all about work, efficiency, productivity? How do you relax naman, 'di ba? Relax naman tayo.
Ako gaming talaga.
Aha.
Game talaga. But although I still can't call myself a full-fledged gamer.
Okay.
Because honestly, in my free time talaga, if you guys can play, I play socially lang diba? But if you guys can play, I'm mainly here in the office listening to my music.
Music. Okay. Yeah.
But in my downtime, if you guys are free, I play talaga.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest stress reliever.
You have specific mga genres ba yung mga nilalaro mo, Mick, with us?
Ako?
Yeah.
Ano ba? Wala. Mga FPS yung mga nila.
First-person shooters.
FPS. Call of Duty. Or the one we bought? Battlefield.
Mga ihos at ihas, generation namin yung beta version. Counter-Strike was an accident. And it was an accident, by the way. Diba? It was a...
Talaga?
Yeah.
Accident ba yun?
Accident yun. Diba ano nangyari? What was the main... Diba add-on ano lang yun? May additional...
Add-on lang siya na Half-Life mod lang siya.
Oo nga pala.
Half-Life mod lang siya.
'Di ba? Mod lang siya, parang you had to, kung alam niyo yung word na CD, compact disc, okay? So,
Hindi disket.
Team Fortress was the original game. So, parang okay.
No, the original game was multiplayer Half-Life.
Multiplayer
Yun yung nilalaro natin dati.
Tapos,
Ano yun? Free-for-all yun.
Tapos bigla na lang may CD nakalagay, Counter-Strike, di ba? Tapos biglang, yan. Until now, everybody's still playing.
Everybody's
And for us, we started in the pandemic, nagsimula, although yun nga, nagsimula ng Zoom naman na naging Discord. Oh,
Yes.
alam namin.
Nagkana pa tayo. Nag-poker.
Nag-poker muna, mga Tito moves, Tito moves. Diba? Kung may mahjong siguro, nag-mahjong din kami. Pero Tito moves yun. Eh. Pero by the way, nasa Discord din. Marunong din kami mag-Discord ng kahit konti, di ba?
Yung mention na Tito Mood.
Na Tito mode talaga. Ano yung Discord? Pwede bang sa Zoom na lang tayo? Until yung parang pamangki ko, sinabi, Tito, masyadong kumakain ng bandwidth yung Zoom. Mag-Discord po kayo. O, di ba? So, yeah, okay. So, ikaw, Kev, like, how do you spend your free time as a full-fledged Tito?
Gaming has never left my life practically. I mean, ever since nag-touch ako ng family computer, never na nawala yung gaming sa buhay ko. I'm probably out of the Titos here. Ako siguro yung pinaka-consistent.
Ever since.
Ever since.
I would say, yeah.
Never nag-stop. Kahit nung bumabagsak na ako ng college, hindi pa rin ako nagsa-stop. So, hindi, kasi lalo na nung bumabagsak ako ng college, kasi stress, talagang siya pahinga talaga siya Never ako nag-stop. Even nung like the time na I started working, kasi especially the time that I started working, uso pa nun yung go to the office
Yes.
And yung travel time ko to the office was generally around 1.5 hours.
Okay.
So, yun yung mga isang in fact, medyo mababaw, but during those 1.5 hours of traveling, yung question ko lagi was, ano ba yung pwede kong gawin para makapag-games ako sa
Sa kotse?
Hindi.
Sorry.
Wala akong peran para mag-coach. Minimum wage. Yung first job ko was
Okay.
well, by IT industry standards, minimum wage.
Okay.
Which is actually very close to actual minimum wage.
Yeah, it's right.
To be honest. Yung first job ko, a few thousand pesos yata short of minimum wage. So, syempre, graduate na ako. So, parents ko, wala ka ng allowance.
Right.
Nako, hindi na pwede bumili.
To be fair, malita nga yung allowance ko to begin with So, and then, yun nga, talagang release. In fact, possible unpopular opinion sa batch natin, but graduating from college was the best thing that happened to me.
Because?
I mean, kasi a lot of people, like, yung mga close friends ko, like kumbaga yung core barkada ko, most of them were like, man, I miss college. Parang I miss yung mga partying. Samantalang ako parang naghihirap ako dahil engineering. So, no time to party, no time to Talagang, literally, pag natapos yung araw ko, uwi na diretso. So,
And then gaming na yun.
Tapos na yun? Talagang,
Ano yung mga games? Can you give us mga titles?
mostly mga single player.
Like what?
Mostly mga single player RP. Well,
Top
for
three.
example, yung pinaka-social game na nilaro ko nung college was Ragnarok Online.
Ragnarok. Yeah.
I don't know kung nalaro nyo yun, pero
Not me.
it was a lot. Pero among the main, yun yung popular na mainstream game doon, yung Ragnarok.
Hindi ba Dota?
Hindi. Yun, third year college ako noon.
Okay.
Pero unfortunately, yun nga, dahil I really had, at that point, yun yung hardest part nung college years ko Third year, fourth year college. Yun yung yung mga madudugong math.
Engineering ba to? Engineering
Kasi, as in, yung math namin, equation ang simula, ang dulo equation pa rin. So hindi mo alam kung tama o hindi yung sabi. Gano'n yun. Just to give you an idea. Of how hard it was for me nung college.
Okay.
Well, at least for me. I can only speak for myself.
Okay, so si Kev is like the full-time gamer. Ikaw, ito si Mick.
Ako casual.
Gimmickero to
Gimmickero
na
talaga ako.
Pero, when did you start gaming? Ever bata? Lahat naman tayo console, no?
Lahat naman tayo bata. Nag-game tayo. Also, I think, well, before, nung siguro first year high school.
Kaya nun.
Yung magka-cut ka pa, Counter-Strike.
Hindi ako nag-cut pare. Nasa library ako noon. Pero yan, nung time na yon uso pa yung ang maganda, at ito lang namimiss ko. I'll get back to you. Pero ito, sigurado ako namimiss nyo to. Kasi ngayon, of course, masaya kasi nakakapaglaro tayo online together kasi technology allows for it. Internet is fast enough. Pero nakakamiss lang yung pag naglalaro tayo na yung tabi-tabi tayo. Yung hindi ka kakain ng lunch, Hindi mo gagastusin yung allowance mo para lang makapunta ka sa computer shop, 'di ba? Tapos pero kasi the social aspect of that talagang magkakasama kayo na gutom para lang tapos kakain ka na lang ng buhay pa ba yun, gardenia, 'di ba? Para
Braised beef.
ay wow, henin na.
Ako di nga ako kumakain eh.
So yun, so ikaw, did you stop kasi nung time na college ka?
I have to say yes. High school, actually, after the Counter-Strike days, more on gimmick talaga eh.
Gimmick nung time.
Gimmick
College
talaga eh.
days hanggang young professional years. Right? Oh, yun. Kasama,
At
by the
the
way,
pandemic.
kasama namin dito, isa pang Tito nasa behind is si Pope, no?
Pag-hi ka naman.
Mag-hi ka naman, no? So ano yan? Actually, siya yung pinaka-pogi sa amin kaso lang, hindi niya pa siya nakikita ngayon. Next time na lang. Shy daw siya. Okay. So, yeah, ako naman, same, no? Medyo feeling cool. Gumigimik din. Pero I always held meron yung gaming always had a special place. Although feeling Mac guy ako, although hindi na ako masyadong Mac guy. No, but totoo yun. Kasi parang
For a while, nainggit ako sa Mac gamers
kasi walang virus.
Hindi. Nung mobile gaming era,
malakas
ang daming ang daming, parang, yun yung kasi yun yung first time na naglabasan yung mga 3D games.
Right.
Tapos parang, nung nakikita, like, the first game that wowed me, nung Mac era, lalo na nung iPad era, was Infinity Blade.
Oh, wow.
Kasi yun eh, it's a parang, mahirap i-describe, pero siya, basta gesture based eh. No, kind of RPG siya, na, that uses that yung graphics is pang PC.
Yeah, yan.
So yun yung unang nakita ko yun, parang I need to find a way to own a Mac, an iPad or an iPhone. Pero unfortunately,
Mobile siya
kasi iPad siya.
Right.
Well, unfortunately dahil wala akong pera noon. Waste na.
May so parang nakita ko yung pattern na yun kasi for me, so syempre lahat tayo console, 'di ba? Family computer, Nintendo, tapos and then we maybe moved into PC gaming, 'di ba?
Yeah.
So for me, mga strategy games nung time na yun, Warcraft, tapos biglang naging, 'di ba, naging World of Warcraft. Tapos for me specifically Age of Empires, tapos yung mga World War II games, Company of Heroes. Kahit medyo gumigimik na ako noon, naka-install pa rin. Naka-install siya. Kasi parang once in a while you wanna go back. Pero after noon, syempre yun na. Nagtrabaho na tayo. Once in a while you go back kasi it leaves a special place in your heart. Talagang childhood natin yun. And that's why now, as full-fledged Titos, full-fledged adults, ako, I have kids, you have a child, single and ready to mingle.
Kailangan may oras pa ako.
May oras pa. Pero, no, but right now, ako talaga ito. Hindi to sabi ni Dr. ChatGPT, sabi talaga to ng shrink ko, ng psychologist ko. You really have to allocate time. Napansin nila ito sa Discord group namin. Nung medyo from the pandemic tapos bumabalik na sa normal busy schedule, we really had to kind of carve out a specific time, 'di ba? Parang hindi, Thursday night laro tayo. Online Discord, no? So, ngayon, actually, yung nangyari sa amin, nagsama-sama kami, parang ang naging common denominator na games na nilalaro namin is survival genre. So, from zombie games to mga Viking games where ako si Mr. Build, ito si Mr. Decorate, ito si Mr. Explorer, alam niya lahat para matapos yung game. So, the personalities come out, no? That's why actually kaya nga nabuo rin tong podcast group natin. So,
I have to be fair, no? Nakakatuwa nga eh. Kasi if not for you guys, I probably would have not explored those games.
talaga ba?
I mean, actually, yeah. True.
I mean, kasi yung mga typical nilalaro ko, mga Japanese RPG, mga
I think yun ang kailangan natin.
yung mga multiplayer action games like Monster Hunter, yun yung mga typical nilalaro ko eh. Pero yun nga, I've never really touched the closest thing to a survival game that I've played was No Man's Sky. Yung space game. Pero yun nga, dahil nga sa inyo, yung mga pag-suggestions yun ng mga Zomboid, mga Ness Island, doon ko na-appreciate yung mga ganung klaseng games.
Next episodes, pwede namin pag-usapan yung mga kung saan kami nag-nerd out na specific games, no? So yeah, how do you carve out time for gaming now with your current situation?
Ako, like I said, no, pag kunyari, I adjust myself to the schedule ng kunyari kayo. My gaming time at least to your schedule. Because when I'm by myself naman, or when I have free time to spend, I really don't game it. I just like listening to music.
Yung anak mo, do you have similar taste in gaming? Kasi teenager son, di ba?
Yeah.
Iba? Ano naging journey?
Kasi I think I'd say, kasi Roblox yung nilalaro yun.
Okay.
Even at this age, Roblox.
Tuloy-tuloy pa rin.
Diba? So, ako, I think, yung Roblox, yun yung naging parang Counter-Strike nila.
Yan, ang panahon nila.
Yes,
Yun
yes.
yung panahon
Yes,
nila.
yes. No, that's true. Kung hindi Minecraft, Roblox.
Oo. Dalawa lang yun eh, diba?
Sorry, tatlo. Minecraft,
Stardew
Roblox,
Valley.
at saka
Kasi
Fortnite.
sa atin, naglalaro ng Stardew Valley.
Huy, in fairness if you miss the Ligo game, complicated yung legal mechanics ng Stardew Valley.
Talaga?
Oo.
Ay,
Like I have a friend na talagang super fan niya yung Stardew Valley. Tapos parang kasi farming games like Stardew Valley, they normally have a romance component. And most farming games, medyo simple yung romance component. Basically, it's a meter na if you give the love interest gifts, answer the right choices.
Stardew Valley ba? May romance.
Yes.
Meron ba?
Yes.
Hindi ko alam yan.
So, ayun, tapos yun nga, normally ako, I haven't played Stardew Valley, pero I have a friend na talagang, he described to me how the mechanics work. And basically, it's, yung mga nilalaro ko farming, kasi I play some farming sims, pero yung mga farming sims na nilalaro ko may combat, like mga rune factories. So, anyway, so normally, yung romance mechanics of like your usual farming sim is, there's a meter, there's a love meter, and then if you give the right gifts, and give the correct answers to certain questions, tapos yung relationship meter na yun.
Okay.
It reaches a certain level. Tapos pwede mo nang gawing
So, parang Sims.
pwede mo nang gawing jowa and then eventually wife. Tapos some games magkakanak tayo. Ay, okay. Yung Stardew Valley, it's a bit more complicated. I mean, there's still the mechanics of giving, answering the right questions, but there are also other mechanics in play such that even if you do the gift giving and the answering the right questions correctly, minsan i-reject ka pa nung
Talaga?
love interest. So, parang dahil doon, parang na-challenge siya na, uy, iba to That's enough.
Okay, so guys, if you have any recommended games sa atin, please comment down in the section below. So, meron dito, like, I think sa all of us, Kevin is the heaviest, parang advanced gamer. Kami ni Mick more casual, but not so casual. I wouldn't say we're casual anymore kasi ang dami na rin nating
I would say social.
social.
Social gamer.
That's it.
Yeah.
Kasi parang, I tried, there are super nice AAA games or whatever indie games. Kami ni Mick pareho, kahit gaano pa kaganda yan, kung single player yan, nalolonely kami. And that's what we parang actually encourage people to do it kasi it's a nice opportunity. Kami, real life friends kami. Pero meron rin tayong online friends na nami-meet, di ba?
Oo.
Ang problema, ang tawag sa amin, Tito din. Napaghahalataan kami. So, boys, to wrap this up, so I'm sure, so I think si Pope here, he's also a gamer like us. Kasi our generation naman, kahit naman varsity player ka, kahit anong klaseng estudyante ka nun, everybody started gaming before. But some of them want to have an outlet or a hobby or just to have a free time, no? Parang, honestly for me, with having raising kids, tapos having to juggle several businesses, when I go to gaming, it's really just an opportunity to blank out and really live in a world na parang, parang you forget about your problems for a while, no? Hindi naman siya parang tinatakbuhan mo yung problems mo, but sometimes you need that outside escape para you can go back more fresh, di ba?
Yes.
So for us, kayo, siguro, let's go through, before we wrap up, ano yung recommended nyo siguro na for a guy like Pope or anybody else who wants to dabble into gaming again? Do you have any recommendation, whether it's a console
Good
game,
question.
diba? Console game or a PC game or a mobile game muna na ma-recommend ninyo to our viewers and our friend here, the guy in our production side, no, si Pope, our post-production side. What do you recommend para masubukan niya?
Ako, well, before we had this conversation, so syempre, nagkaroon tayo ng usapan. And I remember Pope mentioning na he still uses a Switch. To be honest, at least based on my personal thoughts and based on feedback from other people online, that looks to be, not necessarily a Switch, but a handheld gaming device, like a Steam Deck. It just so happens that right now, it looks like right now the internet is sort of leaning, especially given na tumaas yung presyo ng Steam Deck, that the best value for money at the moment for a tatay gamer who wants to take care of their kids while at the same time maybe do some gaming on the side is either a Switch or Switch 2.
Okay.
Ang maganda kasi sa Switch is that there are a lot of games, both first party and third party, that allow you to easily pace yourself.
Right. So it won't ask so much of your time.
Yeah. Or it does ask all of your time. It asks for significant, like it could take like 30 to 50 hours to finish, for example.
But it doesn't have to
But
be.
it allows you to kunwari, save at intervals.
Yun.
Kumbaga, you can go at your own
Hindi katulad
pace.
ng panahon natin, pag Mario Brothers, pag namatay ka sa level 2,
Yung mga side-scroller, yung mga side-scroller games doon, pag naubos yung continuous mo,
Wala na, but
deads ka na. Deads ulit. Okay, so
now it's not the case. Like, and then there are also some games, like for example, Mario Kart.
yun, yung mga familiar titles.
Like for example, Mario Kart, di mo na kailangan, you don't have to spend so much time to be good at it. You can just play it casually.
yes.
Okay.
And
So for Kevin, Switch 2, no? Switch 2 na ba?
Switch 2.
Yung Switch 1 not worth it anymore ngayon masyado using.
I don't think it's
I mean,
I mean, if you really on a budget,
pwede rin. Something.
kasi ang maganda sa Switch 1, there are a lot of, ang dami, at some point, ang laki na live.
And then for sure,
Forward compatible ba ang Switch 2 games?
No.
Hindi.
Switch 2 can play Switch 1 games but not vice versa.
pero yun ang maganda doon. I'm sure sa, kunyari, Facebook Marketplace, makakahanap ka ng mga
At this
nalibenta.
point, ang dami na siguro nagbebenta ng Switch.
So yun, if you wanna parang dabble into gaming. So for Kev, Switch, ikaw, Mick, anong
Ako
marirecommend?
para sa akin, kung hindi lang mataas yung price ngayon,
Okay.
I would say go for Steam Deck.
Okay.
I think
Ano ba yung Steam Deck? Explain to our audience. Handheld gaming siya, di ba?
handheld gaming console.
Okay.
Ano?
It's like a small PC.
It's a small PC.
na na-shape ng mga...
It's pretty chunky. But it's still considered, it's still, it's
Portable.
Yeah, I would say Steam Deck. Kasi you can play the whole library of Steam, which carries a broad...
You have a relative who has a Steam Deck na nag-gaming na siya, di ba? Meron siyang Steam Deck, di ba? Yung wife mo.
Yeah. My wife has a Steam
Anong
Deck.
nilalaro niya?
Ayun, Battle City.
Di ba? Yeah, that's the thing, no? So, syempre, may the nice thing about the Steam Deck is the old titles that you're very sentimental about, malalaro mo ulit. Because it's available online.
Well, yun yung maganda sa kanya. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to play games on the Steam.
Exactly.
It's so flexible.
So, Steam Deck, what any specific game marirecommend mo, Mick?
It depends kasi on the genre.
Na gusto nila.
The person likes.
Anything, top of mind, meron ka naisip?
Top of the mind, I would say, ako kasi racer or first FPS. So, Battlefield again. No?
Kahit try yung Steam Deck yun?
Yung mga luma
Bagay, no? Steam Deck ka.
Steam Deck.
Mga hindi pwede.
So, mga racing, maganda kasi.
mga racing.
controller.
Racing pwede yan. Racing, mga RPG yan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, something to consider, no? So,
At saka advantage ng Steam Deck is because Steam has a lot of sales.
yeah.
It's
yun ang
easy to
maganda.
get games for cheap. So, in reality, just to kind of also provide like advantages of the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Even if tumaas yung presyo ng Steam Deck, one thing to consider is that Steam often holds sales sa games, especially if the games are older.
Usually may summer sale.
Especially nga, yung mga older games, yun yung mas in fact, kung umabot ng 60% yung sales.
Something you can look forward to.
Baka eventually, mabawi kahit tumaas na yung presyo ng Steam Deck.
Because of the sale, abang-abang lang.
Pero yun nga, we have to kind of set expectations though. Let's face it, the Steam Deck at this point, medyo luma na yung hardware niya. It came out years ago.
Medyo.
So
Limited lang siya.
So don't expect to be able to play like
The latest
the latest AAA. Kasi, I mean, there are still a lot of indie games that that have been released recently that will still run great on the Steam Deck. Pero yun nga, if you're the type of person ang gusto mong laruin is still the game with the flashiest graphics, might not be.
But again, if you're using a portable system, you don't really care about the graphics.
Naman
Diba? Like for example, yung Switch, it only plays 720p naman diba?
Correct.
I'm not sure.
Ngayon, 1080 na. Yung Switch 2.
Wow, big upgrade.
But see, that's why, pero guys, kasi you're talking about the latest
Yeah.
Kasi the question kanina was, if they want to double, I bet, they don't have to play, kunyari, yung game na Forza. It's running well on the Steam Deck. You don't have to play the late.
Forza
4, the prior one. I played you.
Okay, the prior one. Kasi I tried the latest one.
Ano siya? So,
Yes.
pero yun yung point ko doon. Pero, kasi nga, this is when they want to start. Parang yun na lang po, don't expect. So, if you get a Steam Deck, that's not the latest. Don't expect to play the latest game. But,
games.
the library naman from Atari to PS, early titles of PS5, malalaro mo.
Yeah.
Diba?
I would say yung Steam Deck can play siguro mga 85%.
Oh, so of the library, Steam.
library.
By the way, Steam is the Steam is a platform.
Mga 85%.
I would say lower, but 85 is not a bad estimate.
Correct. Okay. So yun, no. So now, just like how we watch for seat sale, di ba? Pag nag-aabang tayo ng seat sale, yung mga games, palagi tuloy. Mas madami pa nga eh. Every month may sale. So, kung gusto niyo lang parang on a budget, di ba? Para value. So, ako naman, my recommendation, very, very practical na banggit ni Kevin, mobile gaming. So, 2 titles on my end. If you're on iOS, I'm sure it's also on Android. Clash of Clans.
Oh my God, may naglalaro pa ba?
Pare, ang nakakatawa sa Clash of Clans with me, 3 generation na kami. Yung uncle ko, ako, and then may pamangkin. Yeah, pero although patay buhay yung clan namin. And then another thing that you can dabble with, which is really, again, it will require time, but not parang require you to play 5 hours just to progress. Fallout Shelter.
Akala ko sabi mo Candy Crush.
Ay, hindi na. Yun ang pang Tito talaga. Ayun.
To be fair, I played Fallout Shelter before.
Diba? Ang saya nun
To be
kasi.
fair, masaya siya.
Yun yung starting point kasi pag nagsimula ka doon, matutuwa ka na, then maybe you will start exploring the other titles in the Fallout world. No? So, that's my recommendation. So, okay guys, I think, we talked a lot today.
Gusto ko rin sa Fallout Shelter.
Yeah.
Kasi, the reason why I don't play mobile games, kasi a lot of them are microtransaction based.
Right.
So, it's free at the start, pero in order for you to maximize the playing time or maximize the features of the game, you basically have to pay extra.
Correct.
Ano na yung mga I mean I've tried mga Genshin Impact before. Yung ano yung mga yun yung uso ngayon sa mga mobile game, mga Genshin Impact, yung mga Chinese na gacha games. Mga Chinese anime gacha games.
Yan ang pinapag-usapan na lot of Chinese companies na that we Chinese gaming companies. So okay, thank you for joining our conversation. Again, we're a new YouTube channel. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Also, if you have any recommendations on the topics that you want us to talk about, also comment lang below. And we are the Future-Proof Titos. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks everyone.